Hey guys, today I'm painting a pretty vintage bed that I bought at my favorite junk shop, and you can't get a good look at it right now, but I'm going to show it to you in just a bit. I'm going to prime it first. Sometimes I don't prime, but it does give a good solid covering, and it's all one color. See, you can see on the details here where it's kind of scratched off, and I'm going to be using a coral color paint. And a lot of times it takes several coats because you can still see the difference in the finish when you've got a lot of the stain knocked off. So that's why I go ahead and start with a primer so that everything is a uniform color. And the primer I use is Glidden Gripper, and I always get it tinted gray because gray works under any color. They used to make a gray Glidden Gripper, but they quit making it, so I just get the white tinted at my local hardware store. And the brush I'm using is a chalk type paint brush, but I love this brush and I use it for latex paint and everything. Now let me give you a better look at the bed before I get started. It's a full-size bed. Like I said, I bought it at my favorite junk shop, and it had the rails and everything with it. And you can see where I put a sample of paint on there, the color I'm going to use. That's the headboard. The footboard needed a little bit of work, and I've got it laying outside my workshop here. I had to fill in a lot of places with some wood putty before I could get started, and that's been drying overnight, and I've sanded it down and refilled it again, and I'm going to sand it again before I start painting. But that's the project for today, and I'm going to get started painting in just a little bit, and I'm going to show you a little bit of my technique, which painting is the easy part. It's prepping the pieces that's the hard part. The first thing I do is load my paintbrush, and I've got my Glidden Gripper here. And I'm going to start with the primer and load my brush. You don't have to get a large amount of paint on your brush, and you take it slow to start with. And I only apply one coat of the gripper, and you don't have to get every little spot. Just make sure you have pretty good coverage, and one coat is always enough. See how well that covers? Almost done with the headboard. It doesn't really take very long to paint or to prime either one, and I'm timing this just so I can see and tell you guys how long it took me to do this. Like I said, you don't have to worry about total coverage, getting everything covered. You just need a pretty uniform surface and something for your paint to grip onto. But that's it for the headboard. Let's see how long it took me to paint this. I started at 10:25. You can see I don't get a very early start, and it's 10:44, so it took me 20 minutes to prime this headboard. It doesn't take long to paint. Alright, let me show you. You can see, like I said, I haven't covered every little nook and cranny. I painted or primed the spindles front and back and the leg, but I didn't do the back main part of the headboard, just the front. Okay, I finished priming the headboard. I'm going to start on the footboard, but I wanted to show you where it was kind of beat up, and I filled in some of the holes with wood putty. And then some of the places where the veneer was just chipped off, I left them as they are, and I'll just distress over those areas. They always look good like that. So I'm going to get started priming the headboard. I just finished painting the back side of the headboard. I decided I really needed to paint the whole thing because unlike the headboard, the back of the footboard may be seen from from the bed, so it's not going to be against the wall. So I went ahead and primed all of that too. So now I'm fixing to set this thing up and paint the front. Sometimes it's just easier to sit and paint on the floor. The hard part is getting up off of the floor. When you're priming and painting too, you just need to be careful that you don't have like puddles, get drips here in these little grooved areas, and up here you want to go back and make sure that you smooth all of that out. Okay, so I finished up priming the the footboard, and it took me, since I'm timing these, it took 20 minutes also. So it took 20 minutes to prime. I use these words interchangeably. I call priming painting. So anyway, it took 40 minutes to prime the headboard and the footboard. And keep in mind that I was filming this and moving the camera around and all kinds of things, but even if you're not experienced at painting, it shouldn't take you more than an hour to prime these two pieces. I wanted to show you this can of primer too. That's all the primer it took to prime both of these pieces. So as you can see, it doesn't take much. That gallon will last me for several pieces.